There we go. Okay, we've got a good picture going for us. So let's go ahead and start talking. And this week, we're going to go over the market update as always. And I'm going to try to minimize all of the stuff going on and let us talk about what's going on in the market. So let's see what's going on. So I don't want to waste anybody's time.
Cut out the jibber jabber. Don't be babbling like a fool. Say what you got to say. That's all.
Okay, so let's cut out the jibber jabber and let us get into the market update for this week. So I really kind of hate it when people go over all of these statistics and you have like no idea what's going on because I don't even know it. Because right now they say the average and the median price of homes are a lot higher than I'm showing here. So like let's just look at the entire MLS. So when we look at the entire MLS, end of the month, it showed for all property types the average or median price of a home was 332. Now you go by the average, which of course is normally going to be higher, 402. When you break that down into different types, single family, end of the month, they showed 450 for the average, and for the median, 360. Well, we've been reporting 405. Where do they get these numbers from? Well, they're looking at the entire MLS, which is pretty much all of Southern Nevada, which would include little towns like you're seeing that I had up there, like the city of Beatty. But we take into account places like, let's say, Henderson. Look there, the median price was 425, while the average was 556, give or take a few pennies. So that's where that all comes from. Then we go down to condominiums. Even over in Henderson, the average was 229 and the median was 204. So each city is going to have a different dynamic when it comes to those averages. And when you look at, let's say, a report that says the median price of a home, or at least single family, is 405, well, that's a composite of the major cities down here. So, like, let's look at North Las Vegas. So, in condominiums, I mean, it's not much of a difference, but it's 189,750 and averages of 178. Townhomes, condominiums here. Look at that. Average of 225 and medians of 248. And single family, which is what most people care about, 323. Now compare that against Henderson. See, Henderson was a lot higher than the numbers that we had for North Las Vegas. What about Vegas itself? Now remember, these three cities, when you look population wise, are actually pretty close. Just you have a huge difference in prices. See, Vegas was 360. So huge differences here. So if you're like looking at a house in Henderson, expect to pay more. And remember, that is the end of the month of July. Well, what's going on right now? So if you go into the MLS and look at the here and now, You just look at the past 7 days, we've had 1,030 homes come on the market. Look at this, 249 homes went back on the market. Now, how come homes go back on market? Well, most go back on market because people wake up and realize that they bought a house that they really can't afford. So they purchase a house, they say they're going to purchase it, they figure out that they really didn't want it, or what happens most of the time, and this is what I warn people of, you know, list your house for 400, you know it's worth 375, and you do the old, I'm going to, what I want is what I want, and I don't care. And you do, hey, I want 400,000. Somebody offers you 400, or gets into a bidding war because it's a nice house or people want to live in that neighborhood. And then what happens? Boom. They've gone into the, okay, I'll give you 405, 410. I'll pay 10,000 over appraisal. Then the appraisal comes in, and then they come across the realization that, oh, I don't have the money to actually give you that 10,000. I was hoping that something was going to work out, or the appraisal was going to work out, or we could come back and renegotiate. So be very careful of that, because a lot of these that came back on the market were for those reasons. So that's almost a quarter of the houses that came to list in the last 7 days. A quarter of that amount came back on the market. Now look at this: 532 price decreases. 532 price decreases. And those are people who realize, oh, this overpriced house that I put out there isn't going to sell, even in this hot market. Well, yeah, we have people who have hot markets. Sometimes people aren't willing to give you that kind of money for it. And the longer it takes you to realize that, the less money you're actually going to make. So the quicker you realize that your house is overpriced, the more money you will actually make. And on the buy side of things, one of the things I actually always recommend people do is to go in and look for the houses where the seller has overpriced the house, and use that as the basis for getting a bigger discount, because statistics show you actually get a bigger discount on a house where the seller overpriced it at the beginning. Uh, Now, expires. These are people who normally, under most circumstances, who did not sell their house. And it's usually for a condition of price, or a condition. And sometimes you cause your house not to sell because of things you do, like uh, not making it available properly, not maintaining it. I'll tell you this one thing: your house will always sell no matter what the condition, if you do one thing: have the right price, because someone will always buy a house that is right priced. It doesn't matter if it's next to the railroad tracks, under power lines, they don't care. If they can get a bargain, they will get that bargain if they can. So if your house isn't selling, always look at price first. Some people go like, I want a real estate agent who's going to give me something to do outside of price. Usually it's price. There are sometimes other things you can do. Sometimes it's access. I need 24 hours notice. Do you really need 24 hours notice? Because some realtors, I mean, right now, the market's tight. So real estate agents may go ahead and overlook this. But in a normal market, if you make it too hard for people, they're going to make it hard back at you. Okay. So those are the big ones we got there. And something to think about with a lot of these expireds is they didn't just expire off the market. Some of them, they were withdrawn from the market, and then after the contract was actually done, then they expired. So if you look at them, just really quick, actually we had a lot actually expired this. That's interesting. Something's not right. Uh, A lot of these are actually active to expires. It's all at one address, so there's something going on there I don't want to explore right now. So probably somebody took a block of condos because those were condos, but most of them are withdrawn conditional, temporary off market, and then to expire. What happens in cases like that is, a person wants to take it off the market, and the agent's like, "Yeah, sure, but I still have it under contract, so you can't just go list it with another agent." And then they just do that, and then it finally expires, and then you're going to be bombarded by a million agents. So see. Now let's get into some of the stuff from my friend Ruthie there. Ruthie has this week. Her stats. For some odd reason, we are still at this median of 405. It's not changing. I'm going to show you a little chart here in a second that really just blows me away over what's going on over the next last few months. Um, and this is kind of up to date until the 19th. So a little bit better statistics, the end of month stuff. So we have about 422 condos available, 3,003 single family homes, and 264 townhomes. Now, our days of inventory has actually dropped a little bit. Last week we had 26 days, and now we're at 23.8 days. So we've lost a couple of days of inventory. A lot of that is probably because, things have picked up. There was a point where I actually said, "Hey, this is now a good time to jump into the market because things have changed a little bit." And that change, uh, people were getting into houses, and then things flipped around a bit. I actually contacted some folks. It's like, "Hey, it's time to jump in right now." And the first house they wanted to look at had multiple offers because it was like this week and a half when everything was really good, and then just flipped on us again. My predictions right now is hopefully we're going to go into some type of a normal market. When I mean normal, I mean not super crazy. We're not crazy as we were back in like May and June and stuff. It's much better now. Hopefully, we go into something that's a little bit better about late September into the October time frame. Because as people start getting into the holidays, they start thinking less about housing. Las Vegas is a bit different than the Midwest and the East Coast and stuff, where housing stops. It's year round here. But with that, I'm going to say it does slow down some, and that's when you can get your best bargains. Hopefully, we can get back down to the single offers again, or one or two offers, where you're not going up against, 5 and 6 people like it is now, or 20 and 30 like it was a few months ago. Uh, Now, with the median price being 405, the number of single family homes under 400,000 is at 873 right now. So that's kind of a new magic breaking point. That 405, we used to have there's this magic point where everyone wants to buy a house under. So 400 is probably the new breaking point. People who want, a house for 250 with a pool and a large yard and open floor plan, stuff like that, you're not going to find it. Now, technically, you can find it. There are things to do, but you're going to have to put some work in, and a lot of people don't want to put work in. Put the work in, because folks who are finding stuff are putting in work. So go do work. And as I mentioned every week, look at what is happening to the price of housing over time. Um, Take that to from median to the actual current median, and you'll see what you've been able to gain, like just by owning a house since 2011, how much equity you've put into your house. And even someone who purchased a house at the beginning of the year has equity. You can You could have purchased a house at the beginning of the year and you could sell it and actually put money in your pocket. That's a very unusual circumstance. Right now, again, none owner, so people who are out of town, or we have, what is it? 31% of all sales are still non-owner occupied, aka investors. That is huge. And that is really affecting, especially that under 400,000 market and the first time buyer. Uh, that is, I mean, that's just destroying folks right now. Because how can you compete against someone who's offering cash, quick close, no inspections, offering market price, sometimes a little bit above? Remember, a lot of these guys right now, their market strategy is they're offering market price plus a little bit above. Put this one in your head. A little bit above is a little bit above. It's not your dream price. If you want your dream price, you may have to go see if you can, get one of those California suckers or something. I don't want to call them California suckers, but you know what I mean. Everyone's going, I just have a California buyer. Well, buyers out of California, a lot of that money is starting to dry up. This 31% here, a lot of that is investor money now. These aren't people who sold their house in San Diego for $1 million who bought it for 200,000. These are hardcore businessmen. They have a plan. Uh, a lot of these folks, 15% of them purchased more than 10 houses. That's a lot. Sure you can figure that one out. So they are buying up houses like crazy. Uh, right now, 130 people a day are moving in Las Vegas. That is 5.4% per hour. And 45% of them are coming from California. I wish I could sing that song by Tupac, right? Now, if you look at the way the market is acting right now, so just look how the inventory has changed over time. We are at the lowest inventory numbers that we can go back because MLS only goes back and gives the stats for 10 years. Do you see inventory this low on this chart? We blow this up for you. No, it's not. So at our lowest was March. I'm looking at this chart. I spy with my little eye. And I don't see inventory anywhere near as low as it was in March. So even though we are up 1,000 homes from where we were in March, when people were going crazy and you had 20 and 30 offers on every home, that's why. You got all these people moving to Las Vegas and you have all these few homes. And you got people, I still have them coming to me all day long. Oh, the market is going to crash any day now. And, when it crashes, I'm going to pick up a house. You think you're going to pick up a house when it's less than half of the number of homes there were last year, and last year was crazy. That's why it's nuts now. So as more and more people list their houses, it gets less and less nuts. So that's where you're trying to get more and more people listing their homes. Fortunately, a national trend that's going on right now is overpriced homes are not selling. That's why you saw those price reductions in the ones that are coming back on market because people are tapped out. That cash is going after and paying those people market value. There are folks who, your neighbors, they sold their house, they got list plus 10,000, 20,000. People are listing their houses now. I told you that tale about a friend of mine who put an offer in on a house. He put it in for full price plus 5,000 and it was rejected because the owner wanted full price plus 20 because that's what his friends got. Well, that stuff isn't happening anymore. It's purely because people are tapped out and the cash buyers, those major companies that are buying right now, they're willing to give you full price. They're willing to give you a little bit or more. They're not going to give you 20,000 more. So unless something else happens, we don't know what's going to happen because no one could have predicted what's happened this year. We're going to see what happens. Don't know what's going to happen with the interest rates or anything else. Right now, they're still predicting that for the rest of the year, prices are going to continue to rise, but not as fast as they are now. which is very thankful. And I wanted to end this really quick. I've talked about this one before, and it's a resource that I have for you. It's called New Home Source Professional. Um, Tomorrow, I'll have my assistant put the pinned comment in here. And what this does is it has all of the new home bills. Now, we've talked about new home bills and the prices and how bad the prices have gotten on them, even. But it is an option because you don't have 20 folks. As a matter of fact, tomorrow I'm going to do a walkthrough on a new home build that some out of town clients have purchased. And, they were easily able to get into that without having to put in offer after offer after offer. And they're moving straight into a home. As a matter of fact, it was a model home and they lucked out. They gave them all the furniture and everything. How do you believe that? I mean, the only thing they said is you may want to change the mattresses because they weren't the best mattresses. Everything else came with the home, literally. So they're probably going to have to end up giving stuff away. Uh, I don't know. It may be unethical for me to be in line. Uh, so just to show you real quick, some things you can do. Uh, if you go to the link that'll be in the pinned comment tomorrow, which will be Monday, you'll be able to go to my site here. You'll be able to search and you can come in here, go to home status, and the two I would recommend, actually three, just go get away from planned here for a second. And you can go to the ones that are under construction, which are the partially finished houses here, finished, and there was another category, the model homes. Except for, this one's probably a few $1 million because it's blue heron. And you can actually just go through these suckers and see what's going on. I mean, because partially constructed may be done in a couple of months or so. Finished, it's ready to move in. So you got to have a move in ready home. So let's just look at some of these move in ready homes. I'm not going to lie, it's not many. Most people are searching for them, but at least you don't have to go searching around. So go here. There's only this many. So like we could go here. Look at this one, Palmer. The point at Palmer Ranch. I actually looked at some houses over there. We can look at this house here, see what they got for us. Unfortunately, well, no, got to be careful because this is probably not the house. It's probably like the model. So let's see if they actually have the house up. So let's go to MLS. They did not put it on MLS. A lot of times they'll put the finished homes on MLS as a good quick way to sell them. This company did not. Let's try one that may be here. I think I saw this on MLS. Let's see here. I know it's out in Pahrump. Not a bad option right now. Pahrump. As a matter of fact, these, I think they actually put the house. So we'll check. So you can actually come here, see what the house looks like. And let's just check, see if it's on MLS. There it is. So let's go take a look at her. I don't have too much problem showing this because it's a new, same pictures. Okay. So there's that house. So that is an option for you if you're looking for a house and you're having some issues. So I hope the information that you guys got today help you out some. And if you ever have any questions, reach out to me. If you like the material that I'm putting out, hit subscribe. You could have easily posted. If you have any questions, just type question and type that in. I'll be here for about 1 more minute to see if anybody has any questions. If you're not a subscriber, go ahead and subscribe. I go through all the information about living in Las Vegas, housing in Las Vegas, anything else. And I just hope to be a help to you. So, got about 40 seconds here. If there are no questions, okay, go ahead, and if you are not on the live broadcast, put your questions below in the comments section, and I'm going to really work hard to answer questions this week. I have a little more time this week to do some stuff because I'm going to be attending Mega Camp, and it's virtual. So I'll spend that time on Mega Camp and helping you guys out. So go ahead. About 10 seconds left here. Okay. I don't see any questions. So I'm going to end it. I will see you guys next week for another live broadcast. I'm going to try to get deeper into the market, any news that's going on here in Vegas. If you have any questions, I will answer them on the next broadcast or come in and ask them live. Thanks a lot, everyone.